Hello friends, welcome to AB Astrology and happy Guru Purab to all of you. And today the topic is on Magha Nakshatra. Let me share the screen. I had no plan, I have to tell you guys, I had no plan to make this video, but I thought it is the birthday, the anniversary of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, one of my Pitris, I can say. And his birthday, 550th birthday, is falling on a full moon on a Bharni day. And we all know Bharni and Magha's connection, and Yama's is also known as the king, the lord of Pitri. So I thought it is a very good time to make this video. So I made these slides on a very short notice. And let's talk about the Magha. So the Magha, the royal sage, it is also known as the royal sage, and I call it as a royal sage, also known as star of power. It has several other names, also known as Magham. So the meaning is the magnificent one, the mighty one, the great one. Symbol, we all know, a royal throne and a palanquin. Deities is Pitris, which is related to Magha. Ruling planet is Lord Ketu. It solely falls in Singh Rashi, which is in Leo. And the Lord of Leo is Sun, we all know. Alternate deity, I would say, is also Ganesha. Yes, Gana is Rakshas. Nature is very fierce. Bird is male eagle. So many themes you can get it or you can understand just from the bird, as we have discussed many times in the other nakshatras videos. Tree is banyan. So it is very important. I keep telling you guys about it. It's very important to worship the banyan tree, or it is very important to connect with the banyan tree if you are connecting with Magha. So the yoni, again, the animal totem related to this nakshatra is male rat. And many themes we can understand from this animal itself. For instance, what I have seen, Magha natives, they like to eat stuff all the time, just like the rat, they're always eating or munching some things. So there are many other things you can relate just with the animal totem. Star on the astronomical level is Regulus, the heart of the lion. It has a very big, astronomy is very important in order to understand astrology. Then the Shakti behind this nakshatra is Tyaga Shepana Shakti. So the power to leave the body and come back, or the power to leave the body and go into trance. So that is the Shakti behind this nakshatra, which is very important to understand. Or also power to severe ties, often body, meaning the earthly ties. Okay, the essence of Magha, what exactly it means to being born in Magha, especially if you have ascendant, sun, moon, or the ascendant lord, I would also say, in Magha Nakshatra, what exactly it means. So in two words, it means the heritage and the lineage. That exactly it means for Magha, the heritage and the lineage. And this is the only nakshatra out of 27 nakshatra. This is the only nakshatra where the deity himself is our own forefathers, our Pitris. So which is very interesting to see that here the deities are our own forefathers. And also what exactly it means to being born in Magha also means the bear the fruits of the deeds of the past life. That also we can relate. Also it means Pitri guides the soul towards the spiritual advancement to prevent the bad karmas. Very important to understand. Also fulfilling, this is very important, fulfilling the duties and responsibilities of the material world and the duties of the grist, which is the major role in one's life. And that what Shri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib also said, that grist, living in a grist himself is a very big penance. It is a very big penance, that what he have said in his saying. So again, this is a very important point here. And also Magha marks the start of the material journey. Again, the palanquin is the mode of the transportation for the visitation or day-to-day errands and the duties performed by the king, not the battlefield, which is different from the chariot, which is the one of the symbol for Rohini. So huge difference between these two right here. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so what is the role of Ketu in Magha? How it acts in this nakshatra? So sometimes what I have seen, or what we can expect, that it can bring bring upon shyness, insecurity as Ketu is involved, self-doubt, anxiety, confusion also, overgiving, impulsive, defensive, emptiness, inside, yes, no enjoyment in the material pleasures. But not many people you're going to find on this part, but there are many of them. Also, spirituality, the otherworldly desire, detachment. Again, where the Ketu is, detachment has to be there. So that is also the role of Ketu in Magha. It also brings the sorrow and the loss, will evolve the native into a better person. So that one should understand and relate or resonate to it. It will free the native from the worldly desires. Yes, enlightens for the deeper purpose of life. That is the role of Ketu. I would say that is the role of not only in Magha, in all the Ketu ruled nakshatras. Favorable Ketu will make one person selfless, flexible. Native will help others without having any expectations. Surrounded by luxury, but saint at heart. We're going to talk more about that. Making one a royal sage. I have a very beautiful mythological story to discuss on that. And on the other hand, if it is not favorable, if it is unfavorable, will lead to depression, sorrow, instability, discontent, mental strain, anxiety, no confidence, self-doubt, body ailments, infections, etc. and etc. So again, one has to see the full chart in order to make the full evaluation. If it is afflicted, sitting in a wrong houses, or it does not has a good dignity, or malefics are looking at him, then yes, these things are very obvious to see or to understand or to see in the person's life. So you have to see the full chart for the same. Okay, this is very interesting, that what are some of the traits of Magha Nakshatra. Individuality, yes, big time, may lead to a lot of, I would not say little, a lot of arrogance, impressive. They love appreciation, yes. Leadership qualities, but social nature, yes, as it falls in a Leo sign. So leadership quality has to be there. They like to be in the higher hierarchy. Either if they are doing job or business, that's what they like to do. Self-respect, they demand respect. That also I have seen. An authority in their circle. Like to maintain their position and image in society. Demand attention, recognition, appreciation, to be served. That's what I have also seen in prominent Magha natives chart, especially if they have 2-3 planets or 2 planets or even moon or sun in Magha. Yes, big time. They do not compromise on dignities and values. That consistently I have seen. They have a very good, huge values for their traditions and for their heritage. Yes, they can expect others to follow that tradition also. Yes, proud of their family or the birth in a specific land. This is bang on. I have seen it big time. They have the desire to pass the heritage and the lineage to their progeny. And that reminds me of the animal totem as well, because rats are known for progeny, for to procreate. So that's what we can learn big time from the animal totems as well. So yes, desire to pass the heritage and the lineage. Okay, dependable people and trustworthy. Again, very loyal. Again, you have to see the full chart to come to that conclusion, but this is the general statement to make. Very optimistic, positive minded people, yes, very generous, like the king. Again, we have other type of kings as well. Sexual desire is very high. Again, we can relate to the animal totem here. OBE, out of body experiences. I know one of my client also, and one of a very good friend. He must be watching this video as well. So he is prominent Magha, and out of body experiences, big time. We always discuss. I have seen big time. I have seen it in his chart. Out of body experiences. So no incidents, no accidents. Still, a lot of out of body experiences. Okay, some more traits. So females are generally accused of being dominant or free-spirited. That's what I have seen in a lot of natives who are female. Yes, I have seen that. Male often try to become court fathers. Again, that's one of the traits of Maghas. They have the great ability to get into trance, just like I have discussed, through meditation and hot temperature. Yes, this is a very key point right here. So when we Tyaga Shepana Shakti can relate to here, how to get into trance, how to leave your body and go into trance through the meditation. That also I have seen. Can invoke jealousies in others due to their charismatic personality. Yes, this is one of the traits of Maghas, and can have secret enemies sometimes. Yes, especially if the 8th Lord is involved, or I would say even the 12th Lord is involved. Yes. So loyal to the family, honorable. Yes. Proud but not arrogant. But yes, I have seen arrogance a lot of times as well. Dignified and self-sustained, prone to flattery, big time. I have seen that. Fall prey to opposite sex by their sweet talk. Yes, this is very, very, very huge. Even though if they're not kings or if they are not millionaires, but they believe in live life king size. That's one of their statements. Often they make with their attributes or with their features. I have seen sincere, hardworking. Yes, they don't like to hurt the feelings of other people and don't like the ones that do so as well to them. Yes, they have the natural tendency to show the other people who really they are. This is what Maghas are. So they naturally attract the limelight. They are born with that. They are born, I would say, with that trait. Limelight, fame, center of attraction. Now, some viewers gonna say that we are not that fortunate, but if you see it in your circle, that then you might realize that maybe you're not Amitabh Bachchan, but you are always in a limelight or always prone to to be in the center of attraction. This is big time. I have seen that they are very much attached to their grandfathers, to their forefathers. And this is where we're going to discuss more about the remedies at the end as well. So this also I have seen one of the traits of Magha natives. Okay, let's talk few negative traits where there are positive, where there are pros, there are cons as well. Very short tempered. Yes, again, you have to see the full chart to come to that conclusion. Jealousy, yes, jealousy factor is always there. Prone to flattery, we have already discussed. Disrespect for people who don't agree with them. That also I have seen in certain charts. They don't seek approval, how they can be, right? Especially if you have sun in Magha. Do not like the disagreement with them. Yes, totally agree with that point. Considered themselves superior in their social circles. So that's what they think about themselves, that they are superior in their hierarchy, not even in their hierarchy, in their circle as well. So they appear to be snobby due to being a classist and perfectionist and being defensive. That's one of the traits. If you have one of those traits, so it's very well understand that you have to work more harder on that so that we can work more on the positive side. So these are some of the negative traits. Okay, so this is a very interesting slide. In Bhagavad Gita, Canto 9.25, it is said, Pitran Yanti Pitrvrata. So those who are interested in family welfare are called Pitrvrata. And there is a planet called Pitraloka. And the predominating deity of that planet is Aryama. And that's what it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. And there is also there is another reference in the Bhagavad Gita, Canto 10.29, where Lord Krishna says, I have to read you this, among the ancestors, I am the Aryama, and among the judges of law, I am the Yamraj, the Lord of the Death, and which happens to be today's nakshatra as well. So in this slide, we can say that there is some connection to Lord Aryama also in Magha, or for Magha Nakshatra. So I find it very interesting to portray this to all of you guys, because we all know that Magha is related to Pitris, and the Lord of Pitris is known as Lord Yama. But there is some connection with Aryama also. And it is very interesting. I was discussing this with my teacher. He mentioned very great insight that if we break down the name Aryama, if we like see R Yama, Aryama, so there is some connection over there too with the Yama as well. Okay, so let's come to the mythological part. I am pretty sure that most of the viewers have not heard about the mythological story, which I will discuss here today. And I find it very fascinating because when I was doing the research, I got to know about this mythological story about Vedvya's son, Sukdev Muniji, with King Janak, Raja Janak. And it is mentioned there in the Bhagavad Puran. So, very, very, very interesting. So let's again, I will try to tell you in a gist what exactly happened and what we can learn from this mythological story. So Ved Vyas ji son Sukdev Muni, Ved Vyas ji's always wanted Sukdev Muni ji to take the initiation from Raja Janak. Let me stop sharing my screen. From Raja Janak. But Raja Janak, but Sukdev Muniji was not convinced from Ved Vyasji, and he always questioned that how a king who's not even a Brahmin and who's always occupied by the materialistic wealth can initiate me or enlighten me. So he was not that convinced. But few years passed, and in order to please his own father, Ved Vyasji, he thought, okay, why not to go and see Raja Janak, Raja Janakji one time, and let's see what he has to say. So when he entered Raja Janakji's courtyard, he left his belongings outside, and he went inside to see Raja Janak. And so Raja Janakji greeted him, but he was the enlightened soul. He knew that what is going on in Sukadev's Muni's mind, that he's here to test him actually. So not to test him, but he knew that what is going on in his subconscious mind. So while he was talking, so he wanted to show his true intentions as well. So while he was talking to Sukhdev Muniji, one of the attendant came, and he said to Raja Janak that Rajaji, there is on the outskirts of the city, there is a big fire. And so Muniji, he got very frightened, and he wanted to see the reaction of Janakji. Janakji said, okay, it's okay. You just go. It's the God's will. Let's see. It's the God's will. And he let the attendant go away. And now the Muni Sahib, he got frightened. And he said that what kind of Raja he is, what kind of king he is, that there is a fire on the outskirts of the city and he did nothing, and he just said it's the God's will. So, but again, he started talking to the Raja Janak, and again the second attendant came, and he said, Rajaji, king, there is the fire is almost near to the palace. So again, he did not react. He was stayed very calm, very peace, and he said, "It's okay. It's the God's will. Let's see." And now Sukhdev Muni Sahib was very convinced that I was right. So whatever I was thinking about this king is absolutely right. That he cannot initiate me. That because he's himself is not taking any pain for his own people, for his kingdom. So how he can enlighten me? So, but while they were talking again, they started talking again, and the third time, the attendant came and they said, Rajaji, there is the fire in the palace now. And as soon as Sukhdev Muni Sahib heard that, as soon as he heard that, he started running, because he started running towards his things which he left outside the courtyard. And that's where Raja Janakji said, stop, Sukhdev Muni. See, being a Brahman, that you are so attached to this tribal things of yours, whatever you have brought. And here, where I have so much materialistic wealth, yet I'm not attached. And by listening to this, Sukhdev Muni got very moved by his words and action, and he said, you are truly a great master, and I want to get the initiation done by you. And Raja Janakji said, yes, I will give you the initiation. And but before giving the initiation, you still have to pass through certain tests. It's not easy to get the initiation from a true master. So he said, okay, tell me what I have to do. So he said, I'll give you one lamp. It is full of oil, but you have to make sure that go take a full round of my kingdom. Look how my kingdom looks like. Take the full round and come back, but make sure there not even a single drop should come should drop on the floor while you're taking the round of my kingdom. So while he was doing that, and always remember, when you do that, there is, even if a single drop will fall, there is one of my soldiers is just behind you and he will chop off your head. Always remember that. So he went out with the oil lamp, and very frightened that there is a soldier behind me, there is the death behind me, and I should not let even a single drop fall on the floor. So there was a lot of things, lot of materialistic things, dancing, this, that, gold, everything you can expect from a very big kingdom. And but he was not able to concentrate on any of that because his mind was so focused on the lamp. So while taking the full round, he came back, and the Raja Janakji asked him that, what you have seen, Sukhdev Muni, tell me what you have seen. Did you enjoy my kingdom? Did you see what kind of kingdom I rule? He said, I was not able to enjoy any of the materialistic things or any of the things which are present in your kingdom. He said, why? He asked why. He said, because I was so much focused on the death behind my back or over my head, and I was so much focused on this lamp, or that not even a single drop should fall on the ground. I was not able to enjoy any of that. So Raja Janakji smiled, and he said, that is how I rule my kingdom. Even though having all the materialistic wealth around me, surrounded by me, yet my focus is only to the Almighty, only to the inner self, only towards Him. So what we can, again, I have, it is a 4 or 5 pages big story which I happen to read or to know or to learn through my research, but I find it very beautiful, a mythological story, and not many of us, I'm pretty sure, have heard about it. Those who have, it's good to know, but those who haven't can learn from this video that so what we can learn from this mythological story, that even though the death is always upon our head, but yet that whatever materialistic attachments, whatever things, materialistic things we have around us are the hindrance and obstacles in order to connect with the higher realm, in order to connect with the inner self, in order to connect with the higher consciousness. So that's what Ketu does in Magha Nakshatra. That's one of the remedies we can also say in for this Magha Nakshatra as well, that how to connect with our inner self, how to connect with the higher realm, how to deactivate our inner self with all the materialistic things around us, which is so hard to do, I know. But that is, I like, whenever I do the research for all the 27 nakshatras, I think it's not only the desire, I would say, or the remedy, I would say, for Magha. All the 27 nakshatras I have seen, the desire is one: how to connect with the inner self, higher realm, how to connect with the inner self, how to connect with the Almighty, how to connect with Him. And in order to connect with Him, first you have to connect with your own self. First you have to connect with your inner self. So that what we can learn with this great mythological story, I would say the true story of Raja Janakji. Let me share my screen back. Okay, so where I was, yes. So here I have taken the another quote. It says, such a detached soul of Raja Janak, like himself, suddenly got attachment to his own daughter by giving her hand away to the Lord Rama, which is one of the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He said, Aim Sita Mam Suta. This Sita, my daughter. So here comes the my, which happens to be all Tera and Tera. So what another thing, what we can say with this story is that Magha natives or prominent planets in Magha, that no matter what, even though somewhere, in my opinion, somewhere that they have all the materialistic gains or the wealth around them, but yet somewhere they are detached to it. But when it comes to their lineage or to the heritage, they are very much attached. So that's why I have taken this paragraph right here. Okay. So this is a very beautiful quote. It says, true yogic masters like Raja Janak, which we have discussed, the father of Lord Mata Sita, Raja Janak ji sing praises of God in Guru Nanak. And again, it's the birthday, 550th anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So that's why I wanted to do this video today as my Shraddhanjali to my forefathers, to my Pitris, I would say. It says, Guru Nanak, such sages are completely filled with creative power and self-enlightenment. And again, there are many mythological stories. There is another mythological story which is connected with Maghais of Karan. There is another great mythological story of how Raja Janak ji got the enlightenment from a rishi, from a sage. That is a very beautiful, another beautiful mythological story. There are many, but I took only one, and I find it very beautiful story. So Raja Rishi Janak was also called, even though he was a king, and he had access to all the luxuries and pleasures he could ever want, or one could ever want, but yet he was not interested in any of them, because his focus was to his Rab, to his higher consciousness. He was only interested in the spiritual discourse, just like we have discussed in the mythological story, and considered himself free from all the illusions or the worldly illusions or the desires. So again, another conclusion we can get from the mythological story. Though he was a king by birth and duty, and again, when we say duty, it's one of the biggest remedy, which I will also discuss at the end of this slide, what we can do as the remedy for Magha, or what Magha natives can do as the remedy. Their biggest duty, if they can understand and they can relate to their duties and responsibilities towards their fathers and forefathers, towards their heritage and lineage, that is one of the biggest remedy they can do, or the karma they can do towards their own chart. Then they don't need any other remedy. So he was a sage by thought and soul, and he's revered as being as the ideal example to non-attachment to the material possession. So even though he was occupied by all the material possession, I would say, when he sent the Sukdev Muni, Vedvyasji's son, for the test for the initiation. So he was so non-attached because his focus was somewhere else. So what is Raj Rishi? Raj Rishi means the royal sage in Sanskrit. It refers to one who is the king or a prince, as well as the sage. So Raj Rishi may have left the kingship and become a rishi, such as beautiful example of Vishwamitra ji, Rishi Vishwamitra. So this is a very important slide. So in this nakshatra, I have talking about padas a little bit. That if the first pada of Magha, it falls in Aries Navamsha in the D9. So with the sound word Ma falls in the pada 1. So how it works. So they are more social work, well-respected, diplomatic, diplomats also, schemes, secretive. Secretive also I have seen with Maghas, because rats have the tendency to go into their holes, stay hidden, stay secretive. So that is also I have seen hardworking. So on. Second pada, poverty in the early age. Again, you have to see the full chart. This is a general statement. Difficulty with the opposite sex, yes, dignified, very independent. Third pada can create some friction because it falls in Gemini Navamsha. Falls in friction in marriage, but later harmonious. Fourth pada of nakshatra falls in Cancer Navamsha in the D9. So very high status because moon is coming back here again. Very high in status, quarrelsome, devoted to parents, great leaders, and earn respect. So this is very self-explanatory. You can take the screenshot of this slide. Okay, so that's sweet and short, I would say. So thank you all, but I still have to discuss some of the remedies. So just like I have mentioned, one of the biggest remedies for being a Magha native or prominent planets in Magha, to understand your duty towards your heritage, towards your lineage, which is very important, towards your fathers, towards your forefathers, especially if it is your second lord, ninth lord, fifth lord, very important. Second biggest remedy, I would say, for Magha Nakshatra would be doing the shrads of your forefathers, for your forefathers, offering them oblations is one of the biggest remedies you can do. Again, the other way to connect with your Pitri is on the new moon day, Amavasya day. It is said or it is believed that they are very much active. So connect with them, do the offerings, do the Tarpan ritual. You can Google it, you can YouTube it. There are many videos how to do the Tarpan and do the Shrads. We just had Shrad, I think, a month ago. Connect with the banyan tree. This is one of the ways in order to connect with your Pitris. So these are some subtle karmic remedies one can do to, if it's giving you some trouble or you're not getting the fruits as compared to what you are expecting from your chart, I would say, in a mundane language, in a mundane world. So you can do all this, but it is very understand to connect with your Pitris, which is very important because just like I mentioned, this is the only nakshatra out of 27 where the deity, itself is Pitris, your own forefathers. So connecting with them is very important. And learning more about the another remedy. Okay, let me tell you. The another remedy would be learning more about the mythological story of Raja Janakji. Learn more about him. Learn what kind of learn more stories about him. How he used to rule his kingdom. What are the mythological stories for Raja Janakji? How he got the enlightenment from the rishis. So that's more. See, that is also one of the ways to connect with your own nakshatras, the energy, the Tyaga Shepna Shakti you can do is to connect with Raja Janakji. Why he was called as a royal sage. Why Magha is called a royal sage. So now you know after this video. And what was the moral of the story? Again, I repeat, we can learn from Sukhdev Muni's initiation with his master Raja Janakji was, no matter what, how occupied you are with all the materialistic uh, things you have around you, yet those are all hindrance and obstacles in order to connect with the higher realm. I know it's very easy to preach, it's very hard to do it, but that's the only way out, and that's the sole purpose of each and every nakshatra. I would say all the 27 nakshatras or 28 nakshatras. So I hope you like the video. And again, I made these slides on a very last moment. And the only reason was that I wanted to do this video on Guru Nanak Sahib Ji 550th birthday, and remember about our own Pitris and Gurus, and try to connect with them. So I thank you all. Thank you for all the support and love. And I'll see you guys again with another video with another nakshatra. Thank you.